This is MyWitness News. In no way, shape, or form fair and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser. Barry Funkhauser.
Oh, yes.
Barry Funkhauser.
One more time.
Barry Funkhauser.
Me.
How did you went out over the weekend and you attended various Halloween parties with...
Yeah, you want to know what I was?
Yeah.
I was the bearded lady.
Right. Funkhauser, do we want to tell them what it is you're doing?
Sure, man. Go for it. Tell the people.
Funkhauser is writing a screenplay, like all native Los Angeles, Los Angelians.
Like 10 out of 10 people you meet in Southern California.
Yeah, like 10 out of 10 people at Starbucks in Southern California. Funkhauser writing a screenplay. I've read it, and I don't know. I don't have the power to greenlight a piece of something, but it was compelling to me. The only problem with your screenplay, Funkhauser, where I think some of it's lost on me, is like,
ooh, okay, let me write this down. Hold on. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it doesn't. Like, I know all the people that you're basing these characters on, so I'm able to look at them and be like, oh, there's that guy who was our engineer for a little bit. There's that girl that you dated for a while. There's that, like, I know where all this stuff comes from. So, like, when I give you notes, which I've been doing, I've been giving Funkhauser notes on his screenplay.
Yes, thank you for that.
But, like,
you're
I
moving
name them
the story along like a choo-choo train.
Yes, I name them by their real names.
Yeah, it's really off-putting.
Yeah,
you're giving me the story. It's like get out of my head, man.
But you realize that, people, if this thing gets made, and I don't see why not, but then I don't know anything about filmmaking. But all right, let's speak positively about it. When this thing gets made,
that sounds really assuring there.
When this thing gets made, the people that you're writing about are going to watch and be like, "What the hell, man? I kind of did that, but I didn't really do that. Hey, your screenplay makes me look like a jerk." You're going to get lots of those calls.
Yeah, but I'm also going to get a lot of the calls. It's like, wow, you really told that story perfectly.
Yeah,
and
yeah, really?
I hear that you write screenplays from, like, I'm taking this weekly little meeting class thing, and you're supposed to write screenplays from the beginning of, like, truth, and then you stretch it, you skew it, and you make it something different. So you and I may know the real people, but they're really like a combination of like 4 or 5 people put into one person.
No. It's really interesting when you talk to the people, like when we had Spike Ferriston, who created, who wrote Seinfeld, on, and when you hear like the people that wrote Everybody Loves Raymond, like these situations that arise, like did that really happen to Jerry Seinfeld? Well, no, but it happened to a writer on his show who was also a comedian, so it was relatable. Or did that really happen to Ray Romano because it's based on his life? Well, a lot of it was based on the experiences of Jerry Seinfeld and Ray Romano, but also it was people in the room that were writing the sitcoms that had sort of like relatable experiences to them, and so it just winds up being an amalgamation of all these different characters and experiences, and
it's just easy to turn it into a thing, like real easy.
Yep. I'm very glad to see that I haven't made it into your screenplay, and I expect to stay the hell out of it.
Oh no, I've been starting to write you in there.
No, you haven't.
Oh, you'll see.
You're going to be hearing from my lawyer. As soon as I say
I'll give you
you're going to be hearing
1 point in the movie.
You're going to be hearing from my legal Zoom accounts. So anyway, Funkhauser went as the bearded lady for Halloween because you've decided you're not going to shave until...
No, I have a writer's beard. Yes, a writer's beard.
Yeah, you're not going to shave until you've completed your screenplay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's motivation to finish it,
How long has it been?
Oh, I don't know, like a month or 2?
You grow a very impressive beard, like really, really.
I've never done it before.
It's bristling. It's and I got to tell you, yes, it's bristling. And I got to tell you, the pictures you sent me of you going to Halloween parties as the bearded lady, creepy, really creepy.
Disgruntled bearded lady, because the circus is no longer hiring, so the bearded lady had to get a regular job. Hence the regular outfit, like the office attire. So it's more of a disgruntled bearded lady.
There's a lot of layers to that.
Uh-huh.
Did people pick up on it? Like, oh, wait a second, you're a bearded lady, but you're dressed in normal attire as opposed to bearded lady attire. You seem disgruntled. Are you a bearded lady that got put out of work when the circus got shut down?
No, I had
anybody...
to tell the story, but they got it after I told them the backstory.
Right. Nothing makes a Halloween costume sing other than having to tell the backstory. It was a good costume, Funkhauser. I take my hat off to you.
Yes. How do I get this nail polish off?
That's a you problem, not a me problem.
Radio. 104.1.
Now, more AD on the radio.
All right, so we'll talk about what happened with Kevin Spacey, about why House of Cards is done. His Netflix show is done after this season. He came out, but he came out as part of being accused of molesting a 14-year-old boy, and we'll get into the whys and wherefores a little later on.
Dude, so many people lost their job over it. That's the saddest part.
You know, yeah, that kind of is. But I mean, it's just, look, you've dipped a toe into the world of television and media and things like that. You know that being one of the creators or one of the staff of a show like House of Cards, that's not a forever job. That's something that you do for a while, and I think it ran for longer than a lot of people expected. So what are you going to do? It is definitely getting the rug pulled out from underneath you, though. Like Kevin Spacey's past bites you in the ass, and all of a sudden hundreds of people are out of work. It's an interesting thing. I think Sting said he battled with the idea of breaking up the police when he was going to quit the police, because he's like, we became this kind of industry, like this, all these different people, their jobs depended on us cranking out like another set of hit songs, and you become aware of that, how many other people's lives are wrapped up in what it is you do, and it's not something you plan for. It's not something you expect, but it's a weird reality of the entertainment business. If you're successful, there's a lot of people depending on you for their lunch ticket. Sometimes literally their lunch ticket. When you work on film stuff, Funkhauser, isn't it a big deal when they provide a third meal? Like, oh, we're going into overtime. Everybody gets a third meal.
Yeah, sometimes I only work for food. It's good, too. It's really good. Last time we had Zanku chicken. You know the story behind Zanku chicken?
I do not know the Zanku chicken story, but I have a feeling I'm about to hear it. Go on.
Man, well, it's kind of dark, but I hear there's a documentary out that's been pulled from the internet where it was a family-run company, and the sons in the family, the men in the family, wanted to make it a franchise, and the women in the family did not. And long story short, the women in the family were murdered.
What?
And Zanku Chicken is now a franchise. And somebody wrote a documentary. And
you know what? Tomorrow is Halloween.
Ooh.
Let's make this our Halloween show. Let's make the story of the Zanku chicken. That's kind of all I know
about it, though. We need a lot of help.
I can do some research. I'm already freaking fascinated.
Really? But you've heard of the chicken place?
I've heard of Zanku Chicken, but I did not know that there was murderous
and then I told one of the
behind
clerks there when I ordered there for the first time, and some random guy in line.
Wait, hold on. You brought it up to the guy serving you the chicken?
Yeah.
Hey, isn't this franchise because, half the family murdered the other half the family?
No, I said, is the documentary true? Because I can't find it online. Somebody made a documentary about the murder, and the 16-year-old clerk didn't know anything about it, but the guy behind me in line said, oh, yeah, that's true. So yeah, it
must be delicious chicken.
It's so good.
If that guy could say, "Oh, it's true," I'm going to go give my money to some murderers because the chicken's that good. The chicken must be really something.
Well, you can't.
If that is true, I'm not giving them a penny of my money.
But you can't.
Look at you hanging out with sleazy Hollywood types. Just because the chicken's delicious, you're willing to spend money on it, even though you're supporting a murderer.
Yeah, but it's the franchisee. They have nothing to do with it. You got to support local business.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's
whatever gets you through the day. Sure. Yeah.
It's so good, though.
It better be, because you're basically eating your own soul, Funkhauser. When you eat Zanku chicken, you're taking a bite out of your own soul.
Ooh, that should be their new slogan.
Yeah,
make
yeah,
a commercial for that.
All right, well, we might be completely way off. There could be no truth to this. We'll get into it tomorrow on Halloween.
We'll
the
see.
story of the murderous franchise chicken. What's going on in the world, Funkhauser?
Sad news about Simon Cowell. He was hospitalized after he fell down the stairs at his home.
It could have been worse, but I believe the impact was broken by the stick-up of his butt. Simon Cowell, I wonder if he was drunk. How do you fall down stairs? It seems... I don't know. Who knows? He's got a kid now. He could have slipped on a children's toy. And I've almost eaten it on the stairs thanks to, Millhouse's ball that he leaves there. He knows that, this when I'm coming home, he wants to immediately pick up this ball and have me throw it to him. And so for that reason...
Yeah.
Way to remember to mute your phone during the show, Funkhauser.
Airplane mode.
But yeah, no, I've almost eaten it on a dog toy on the stairs, so maybe that's what happened to Simon Cowell.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He tripped. Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't slip on someone's underwear. All right, so Stranger Things 2 is out on Netflix. Have you started watching it yet?
No, I haven't. Everybody's giving it 2 thumbs up, except for George H.W. Bush, since he had one hand on a woman's butt, as apparently is his wont. Apparently, he tells the same joke every single time he does this. He was like, you know who my favorite musician is? Who? David Copperfield. And then he honks their butt.
He does not.
And that's
a presidential joke? Is that what you're saying?
That's a presidential joke. Now, here's the thing. Wanting to play devil's advocate. He's in a wheelchair, which means... him trying to put his arm around someone is a difficult thing. He's old, he's infirm, he's in a wheelchair, and trying to lift that arm up to a place where you're not resting your hand on someone's butt is a difficult thing for him to do. Now, a lot of the people that have been coming forward with the stories about him doing it say, oh, he's a dirty old man with the way he did it. I felt him grab and then some squeezing. His representatives have said it's difficult for him to do this. It's difficult for him to put his arm around someone and not have it land on their butt because of his physical limitations. And he tells the David Copperfield joke to kind of make light of the fact that he basically can't lift his arm over a certain level. So some people are saying it's coincidental and he's trying to mitigate his own physical problems by telling a joke like, hey, my hand happened to land on your butt. I'm David Copperfield. Har, har, har. When he's not actually doing it on purpose. And then there's people saying, no, he's definitely a serial ass grabber and has been for many years. The one woman who said that, the first woman who said that he did it, said that when he did it, she looked at Barbara Bush and Barbara Bush was like, not again. Eye roll, oh, this again. But maybe she was just, eye rolling over the horrible David Copperfield joke he was starting to tell. It's interesting.
Leave the stimulation to the professionals.
Everyone is so smart.
KBRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
All right, Funkhauser, we'll talk about Kevin Spacey and why his coming out has resulted in, what's the show? I still haven't
House
watched
of
it.
Cards?
House of Cards. Now I can't watch it. I'm annoyed about this.
Oh,
because,
no, you should still watch it.
So, House of Cards was adapted from an English version, and I got to tell you, I remember watching the English version when I was a kid and being terrified of the character that Kevin Spacey was recreating. Watch the original English version. It's incredible. And I watched it again. When House of Cards blew up on Netflix in America, I watched the original English version again. And I was like, you know what? I like to binge things all at once, so I'm just going to, wait until this show runs its course and gets canceled. But now it's like, man, I love Cosby Show. Loved Cosby Show growing up. There were so many incredible life lessons that I learned from Cosby Show, like Theo's dyslexia, him beating it and getting through college and becoming, the educator that he became. Like, there was tremendous inspiration as a kid for dyslexia growing up and seeing these tough situations dealt with in a human way. Like, I got so much out of Cosby. Absolutely, 100 million %. And then to find out that Bill Cosby was this unbelievable creep, I was just like, I was really looking forward to watching these shows with kids if I ever had kids of my own. And now I can't. And can't enjoy it, can't get into it in good conscience. I could never watch this with a child. And same with House of Cards now, I think. We'll discuss the full story and talk about whether or not we can watch it.
Yeah, I knew about him going in when I started watching, and I think it kind of made it better.
You knew about him being a child molester? No, you didn't.
I just knew about him being...
the entire world knew he was a closeted homosexual. Like, that was like anytime anyone came out, everyone would just look at him and be like, anything you'd like to add, Kevin Spacey? Like, it was the worst kept secret ever. But, of course, it doesn't matter that he's gay. That matters not at all. The molesty part, well, that's the part that's kind of put me off watching.
Yeah.
I mean,
Damn it.
Gosh.
It was so good.
See, so now I can't watch it. And I probably can't watch it. We'll talk about it later, and I'll try and come to some sort of conclusion about whether it's okay for you to watch House of Cards, knowing what we know about Kevin Spacey. You know what else I don't like about Kevin Spacey?
What?
And up until now, there hadn't been anything that I didn't like about Kevin Spacey. Like, I have a problem with him now that I know he molested a child, obviously, as the entire world should. But the thing that I didn't like about Kevin Spacey is he does an impersonation. He does an impersonation of, oh my God. What's the impersonation I always try and do, Funkhauser? I'm having a Rick Perry moment on the podium. What's the branch of government I won't do away with? I'm stepping in it. I've got... help me out. Oh, no, Dad. We're all out of soy.
Yeah. What's his name?
What's his name? Oh, my God.
What's his name?
No, wrong.
No,
Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken.
There you go.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa.
So, yeah. I've always felt like I do an okay... Well, I feel like I do an okay Christopher Walken impersonation. Funkhauser thinks it's okay. He's like, you need to work on that.
Yeah.
But, like, the world kissed Kevin Spacey's ass for the longest time about his Christopher Walken impersonation. And I don't think it's that much better than mine. Frick a tree.
Yeah, I'd agree
Smell
with
my
you.
feet. Give me something good to eat. If you don't, oh no, I don't care. I'll pull down your underwear. Like, it's not that good. That's Kevin Spacey's. Mine is, what if Milhouse, my dog, was Kevin Spacey? Oh, no, Dad. It appears we're all out of kibble. It's terrible news. Should we go for a walk? It's exciting. Go outside. Get some more kibble. See? That's just as good as Kevin Spacey's. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's equally as unimpressive as Kevin Spacey's, and the entire world kisses his butt for it. And you know what? I'm over it. Very few things I take pride in this world, and very few things I've actually tried at. My Kevin Spacey, my Christopher Walken impersonation is one of the few things that I've actually tried at. I'm still not very good at it, but neither is Spacey. All right, more
So
news.
are they just canceling House of Cards? Or
I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay. Well, the New York Giants had a bye week.
Yep.
The
City's
football.
throwing them a parade. Yeah. The city's throwing them a parade for not losing. Go on.
I can't believe there's football and baseball at the same time. I'm paying attention to sports this year.
And basketball.
What?
Like it all. There's this one weird week in October, November.
Is that this week right now?
We're in it. We're in World Series week.
3 sports at once. Weird.
All of them. Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns lost the Minnesota Vikings yesterday in London and are now 0-8.
Yeah. 0-8.
0-8.
And they did that thing where they went across and played a game that's a real game, but it's an exhibition game, sort of, in London to try and get people in England into American football, as they call it over there. They lost. 0-8. Even worse news for Browns fans. The team did not book a one-way flight. They should just stay over there, change their name to the London Silly Nannies, and give up.
They get a week off. They play like a game, and then they get another week off.
Yeah, I mean that's a difference between football and baseball. Like with baseball, like you could drop a whole bunch of games and still go on to win a World Series. But football, man, there's so much. Baseball is like Seinfeld. Whenever you want to watch a baseball game during baseball season, there's pretty much one on. But it's a very sort of like much more of a few and far between thing with professional football, and that's why every sort of game counts that much more.
Well, another tropical storm has formed near the Florida Keys there, and
yeah. President Trump's already trying to get ahead of this one. Seen him out back on the White House lawn warming up his paper towel throwing arm. He'll be ready.
A woman gave President Trump the middle finger after following his motorcade on a bicycle.
There are countries where that woman would have her finger chopped off. It's part of the benefits of free speech. You can do ridiculous stuff like that. Chase him down on a bicycle and gave him the finger. It's ridiculous, of course, but at least Funkhauser. At least it's good to see Hillary Clinton getting some exercise.
I knew it was coming. I saw that one. Back up the truck. We know where this one's parking.
You knew where it was going, but it still
slid right in, just perfectly there.
It's exactly how you wanted it.
Yeah. President Trump will release nearly all classified documents on the JFK assassination.
Are you excited about this, Funkhauser?
I wonder what we find out.
There's like 3,000 pages to read. Like people have spent there's no way. Like people are talking about it like they've read it. They haven't read 3,000 pages.
Somebody will figure something out, and then I'll read that.
No, they won't. I guarantee you this won't change. If this affects your day, tinfoil is on sale at Target, and you're going to want to make yourself a new hat. Because
really, what could we not know?
I guarantee you there's nothing new. There's no new information in this. Otherwise, we would know it was coming. We would know there was some sort of incredible truth bomb involved in releasing these documents. This is going to wind up being a completely pointless exercise that brings us nothing new. I would love to be proven wrong. As a skeptic, I would love to be proven wrong. But I'll bet you $1 on this one, Funkhauser. I'll bet you shaving that beard into a Fu Manchu mustache.
Can't do it.
Go on.
3 women, we talked about this earlier, 3 women accused George H.W. Bush of groping them from his wheelchair.
George W. was stunned, dumbfounded, and speechless. And then he heard about his dad.
He heard about it.
See, again, you knew exactly where it was going.
Right next to the other one. Come on, back it up. There's still a couple more spots here.
You know how relevant George W. Bush was to me and my thinking, Funkhauser? He actually played a pivotal part in my sort of political thought. How long do we have? We're going to have
4.
A chance to talk about 4? All right. Well, no, George W. Bush, when you are raised by unbelievably democratic hippie parents the way I was, well, you rebel. You rebel against your upbringing. It's just sort of something that we all do. And a great way for me to rebel against my parents, the East Coast Democrat types, was to call myself a Republican and move to Texas, which I did. And look, I mean, if you are new to this show, you need to know something. I'm on the side of truth and common sense. And I refuse to declare any kind of allegiance to any kind of political party because I think the only benefit of the party system is to the politicians who want to remove critical thinking and just want to make voting a knee-jerk reaction. It was this, so I'm going to be that. No. Look a little deeper. And so for that reason, I guess the evolution of my political thought, the point where I stopped being a Republican was when I was living in Houston, Texas, and saw the complete sort of the complete mess that was made of Hurricane Katrina. Like a lot of people in Houston, I felt like it fell to the people of Houston as opposed to the government to help our neighbors in Louisiana. And I was like, you know what? Until this guy is out of office, I can no longer call myself a Republican. I am now, thanks to George W. Bush, a conservative independent, because I can't be aligned with someone who allowed this to happen on his watch. And it was an interesting one. Like I said, he played an important part in the evolution of my personal politics. All right, Funkhouse. By the way, George W. Bush.
Yeah.
Everybody that I know who's met him in Houston say a nicer, kinder, more erudite, well-spoken individual you could not hope to meet. And
I'm
one of those folks that is, you put him in front of a microphone, he goes all mealy-mouthed, but like as a person, you absolutely, if you meet him in person, understand why people voted for him.